So, namaskar to everyone. I just want to make one small caveat. When Professor Inder Gopal, in his introductory speech, he told that Chemist Survey Journal of India will speak about importance of geospatial data. But the communication which I received some time back, the topic which was given to me was challenges and benefits of geospatial data. I have come prepared with the geospatial challenges and benefits of geospatial data. But nevertheless, I will merge both the topic and I will speak, but mostly it will go what I wanted to speak. uh, First of all, as you all know that uh, data has a really incredible potential to drive positive changes and create a better world. We also know that in our present scenario, data can bring value to development through several pathways, such as we know that chemists, if we have data with us, then definitely there will be empowerment of individuals. And once individual is empowered with data, definitely it will hold government accountable and responsible for various actions they are taking. Data also improves our service delivery mechanism, and it also prioritizing the how to use our scarce resources. So data has its own importance. It has having a lot of value. Now when we are talking about present digital age, so in our rapidly evolving digital age, data has become critical for innovation and progress. So this is the importance of data. But when we talk about public good, our topic is data for public good. What is public good? As we all know that public good is basically what sovereign government is supposed to provide its citizens. It says that public good has to be non-exclusive. It means it can't exclude anyone in using this public good. It is also non-rivalry. It says that if one person is using that public good, it will not diminish the right of other person to use it. And third is, public good has to be sustainable. So today, if you are having a secured border, it doesn't mean that tomorrow we should not have a secured border. So as we know that security is a public good. So government has to provide security to its citizen. Similarly, your disaster management is also a public good. Your national defense is public good. Your environment protection is public good. Education, once upon a time, it was a pure public good, but today it is a partially public good and partially it is a private good. Similarly, infrastructure also. Once, if we will say the rural roads are public good, but if we will say that roads which are used by after paying the toll tax, definitely it's not a public good. So the point is that the degree of non-exclusiveness determines the public goods degree of purity. So we have to make our data in such a way that it can be used for public good fully. However, we have various type of data. Dr. Sarath Sharma also mentioned about public data, private data. Similarly, we have which if you will see the category of data, is the statistical data. And second one is the geospatial data. Statistical data, up till now we were fully utilizing this statistical data, but this geospatial data in various manner we were using in the past. But after seeing the integration of statistical data and this geospatial data, it was found that it is having a tremendous benefits. It is having a invaluable importance is with this integration of statistical and geospatial data. And that's why worldwide, there is a various forums where they are now talking about how to integrate statistical data with the geospatial data. If statistical data and geospatial data integrated for public good, it will definitely give a lot of benefits to the people at large. Government of India has fully recognized the importance of this geospatial data's integration with statistical data, and various working groups are there, and there's a lot of initiatives have been taken by government. And definitely, because the government also wants that, if data are of good quality, if data are easily available, it will make government empowered to take appropriate decisions. It's hardly to say that whether it is a right decision or wrong decision, but definitely it will help government policy makers to take appropriate decisions. And these appropriate decisions are incomplete if we do not have proper data. We have plethora of data available. And nowadays, in this age of AI and ML, we can use this data in many ways. But this has also various limitations. Limitations in the I am an individual person. I have some 6-7 various documents. In my childhood, my name was, in all documents, it was written as a Hitesh Makwana. When I came in 10th standard, 12th standard, my name became Hitesh Kumar S. Makwana. Then it became, in Aadhaar, it became Hitesh Kumar Sanjay Kumar Makwana. Now AI, whether AI can distinguish these are one same person, definitely not. It will come with, no, there are the 4 different persons are there. But if same Hitesh Kumar Makwana is tagged with his geospatial data, his address, then it will at least say that means in this particular place, there are Hitesh Makwana is also living, Hitesh Kumar S. Makwana is also living, Hitesh Kumar Sanjay Kumar Makwana is also living, and HKS Makwana is also living. So this, when this both data is integrated, then only it has told that it is a one single person is at this place. So that is why the importance of this integration of this data. And that's why if you will see in your KYC, lot of affidavits now we have to give, okay, this is the same person. And most of the people, they have to do this. It's not only my case, most of the people has having this issue. If you will go to the passport office, you will have an issue related to your name, your father's name, or your address, or whatever it may be. So that is why this integration of data is more important. When it comes to geospatial data specifically, how it can be more beneficial to the society. I am actually, as a Surveyor General of India, I am just 9 months old. But in this 9 months, I have realized that because my earlier avatar, I have already been introduced that I was Additional Secretary, Disaster Management. Prior to that, I was also Principal Secretary, Housing and Urban Development of Government of Tamil Nadu. There is one river called Adiyar. Around Adiyar river, if you will see, every monsoon, there will be tremendous flooding. But when we did urban planning of that area, we never given importance, okay, what is a flood bed of this river, what is a area where water spreads, at what depth water spreads. We gave this work to Anna University to prepare a geospatial map for this 700 acres. And we came to understand that Adia River, both sides, up to 10 or 15 meters, there will be water logging of, let us say, 5 meters. Beyond that, it is 1 meter. Beyond 100 meter, it is hardly 1 feet. So then we took a decision on the basis of this geospatial data. Wherever there is a water logging more than 10 feet, we should keep that area as a public place. That area we should not give for any residential purpose or any industrial purpose. When beyond that 20 meters, if water logging is 5 feet, then we can say that here we can give residential zone, but we have to put that condition, okay, you should have a mezzanine floor. You should have stilt, and before over stilt also you can have a residence. You can construct the residence. Below that you can have your parking or those kind of things. So at least there will not be any loss of life when there is a flood. And where there is a 1 feet water logging, there we have allowed them to construct a plinth level house. So this is very simple thing, but when we did earlier planning, this kind of data were never used there. So point is, I am making that, okay, there is a tremendous use of this data in making proper urban planning. Similar way, we have a lot of, in our country there are a lot of rivers are there, and every year we are finding that there's a lot of floods, this, that. And as the Additional Secretary Disaster Management in Ministry of Home Affairs, I might have seen at least 15 to 20 different presentations of flood modeling being done by the various research institutions. What I am telling that for same work, there are 20 different agencies are working, but at the end of the day, when we ask that, what is your benchmark? What geodetic reference frame was used there? Most of the time we found that it was a non-positive proper reply. Reason being, there are certain work has to be done by certain agencies which are competent to do that work. But everyone, because now it has become fashionable, we should do the flood modeling. So everyone will jump into doing the flood modeling. But when it comes to fundamental thing, which benchmark were used? Whether it has been country's geodetic reference frame के साथ उसको you have leveraged or not. So these are various issues I am telling of how we work. But yes, same data can be very well used for disaster management. Now, we are talking about digital elevation model. So this digital elevation model can be very well used by people who are involved in this flood modeling. There are so many uses are there are so many benefits are there, and definitely, once this data properly used, it will be useful to all the people. Now, government has also come up with various policies. As earlier we know that Survey of India, because I am from Survey of India. Survey of India was very, very conservative department. It was extremely difficult for you to get data from Survey of India. It was, data sharing was not at all our domain. We will never give any data in the name of security of the country. But today, government has come up with various policies. We have come with national map policy. As late as in 2021, we have come with the geospatial data sharing policy guidelines. So in that, most of our data are now available in public domain. Most of our data. And it is definitely, it is being used by various researchers, scholars, academic institutions, and even industries also. Now, I have what are the benefits, but simultaneously, I have to also talk about the challenges what we are facing in this geospatial data. The biggest challenge what we are facing in this geospatial data field is most of the data are not following any common standards. Means some standards are being followed, but all are following different standards. So these data are, we are finding it very difficult to see that these data are used by everyone for various applications. And that is why we have, Department of Science and Technology has working jointly with Indian Institute of Science, Center for Data for Public Good, how to make a platform in which all data can be stored and this data can be interoperable. So the most important thing today we are finding challenge how to find these data, because most of the data are in PDF form. Very few data you will get in the API form or which has followed some standard metadata format. So that means at present we are now requesting all the government departments to re-engineer their data. We are also working very closely with Bureau of Indian Standards. So that means we can develop our own standards. If we go to ISO technical committee, there is a 211, the technical committee is there. It is for the geospatial data standards making committee is there. Our representation is extremely poor. Now we have apprised government unless and until we will be active in creating our own data and contributing in the ISO, India will lose very badly. And as Dr. Sarath Sharma was telling that, we have to, we should be, no one should get India colonized on this geospatial field. So that's why there is a there is one of the important things that we should have our own standards and we should also contribute largely in making ISO standards. And BSI and Survey of India, we are working very closely on that. We have also, earlier speaker already mentioned about the issues related to privacy, security, governance of this data. There is a data, one new buzzword has also come, we should sell this data and we should have monetization of this data. For that, Survey of India has also worked very closely with Department of Finance there. There is a cost advisor is there. So they have also given us cost. If Survey of India wants to share their data to private entities, they can share this data with some cost. Personally, I am totally against it, but now it is a government policy, we have to follow that policy. Another issue related to geospatial data, there is a fair principle is that your data should be findable, your A means your data should be accessible, I means your data should be interoperable, and your data should be reusable. We are working on this principle to make our data follow this principle. It's a very Herculean task, but with the help of various academic institutions like IISc, IIT, and various private entities also we are working. And we are aiming that in another 3-4 years, definitely there means we will have a big headway. And there are challenges related to how to store this data, because this geospatial data is requiring huge storage capacity. We did Varanasi's digital twin model, that itself was requiring some 5 petabytes and those kind of storage. So that also means Survey of India is working on that direction. I am very much thankful to Center for Data for Public Good for giving opportunity to share my thoughts on challenges and benefits of geospatial data, and also importance of geospatial data. Thank you very much. And the Survey of India, anytime, Miss, we are always open to work with any of the organizations, be it a private, researchers, scholars. So the doors are open. Survey of India's doors are open for all of them. Thank you very much.